Hello, my name is Larry Martin and I'm a solutions consultant with Beyond 20. Today I want to show you something that you may not be aware of, and that's regarding grids within Cherwell. Now, most of the time when you have a grid, you're able to go in and rearrange the columns, add different fields to the column, etc. But out of the box, you may not realize that there are different settings for different users or security groups based upon rights within the system. So I'm going to show you what I'm referring to real quickly, and then I'm going to show you a couple of things with it. So let's just go ahead and in the Rich client, we're going to search incidents. And when we do that search, we've got a grid here with different columns. Now, out of the box, incidents grid is set up so that anyone can actually add a column. Like we can put call source in here. We can rearrange the columns, do all kinds of things. However, if you go in and create your own grid, if you haven't looked at the security rights for the different security groups, some security groups like Service Desk Level 1, if you're still using that, will not be able to add a column. And you might think, well, why not? What's the purpose? Well, I don't really know why Cherwell elected to not allow people to add columns to a grid, because that's just display of information. It doesn't really impact the system. But those settings are handled either in the grid itself or through security. I'm going to show you the security setting first. So in your admin client, if you go to security, edit security groups, and then pick your security group. So we're going to go ahead and go to IT Service Desk Level 1, and then we're going to hit the Rights tab. Now within the Rights tab, Application Rights. And notice, can customize grids even if they don't support customization. On Security Desk, IT Service Desk Level 1 security group, that is not set to allow. But if we go to IT Service Desk Level 2 and 3, it is set to allow. So out of the box, if you created a new grid without doing anything to allow it, IT Service Desk Level 2 and 3 and other groups would be allowed to add columns and such. But IT Service Desk Level 1 cannot. Now, if you don't use that security setting, one of the ways to deal with this is, let's go ahead and create a new blueprint. And we'll just stick with the incident object, and we're going to create a grid. So edit grid, grid, new grid, and that's incident 1 is fine for demo purposes, but you'd give it a name. Now on this new grid, let's just throw a couple of fields over here. Good enough. Notice down here, allow column reorder. So they can move, IT Service Desk Level 1 would be able to move the columns around. But right here, allow users to add and remove available fields from the grid. Out of the box, that is not checked. So if we just saved this grid and published it, an IT Service Desk Level 1 person would not be able to right-click and add or customize columns, because the security setting does not allow them to do so, and the grid properties does not allow them to do so. So anytime you create a new grid in the system, if you haven't customized the security and you want people to be able to add columns, you're going to need to set the allow users to add and remove available fields from the grid. You're going to want to check that. And if you want them to be able to pull columns from relationships, you're going to need to check this box. So this section here is dealing with allowing the grid to be customized to match the wording in the security group, security settings. So, if you're going to be creating custom grids for your users, and you want them to be able to customize and add their own fields to the grid, you're going to need to either set this section here to allow them to add and remove fields, or we'll go ahead and not save the blueprint. You're going to need to come into security, edit security groups. IT Services Level 1 is the primary one that you would need to worry about. And under application rights, can customize grids even if they don't support it, and allow. Now, my recommendation would be that you just go ahead and set this for all of your security groups, because there's really no known issues with allowing people to add and remove columns so that the columns are more meaningful for them. Of course, there are business cases where maybe you don't want people doing that, or they customize their grids to the point where they don't get to some particular field that you expect them to be able to see to do the job. Maybe it has an efficiency effect or what have you. But allowing them to customize the grids gives them more flexibility, etc. Anyhow, I just wanted to show you that because I actually had a client the other week where we were creating some custom grids, and whenever I was going through my testing, I realized I had not allowed for customization, so they couldn't add and remove their own columns, and I had to go fix it. And I thought, this is something an admin out in the field might run into, so let's go ahead and do a video on it. Anyhow, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We put these videos out every week for you, hoping to share information. If you have a question about Cherwell, you can post in the channel or send us an email or a tweet, and we will either respond to you and or produce a video showing you the answer to your question. Thank you.